What is SsdwLab6? It is a web application accessible from any web browser, especially directed to multi-center installations with large numbers of patients, dedicated to screening for aneuploidy and more specifically T21, 18/13 and neural tube defects and preeclampsia. We can access to the web with a username and password, and presents a screen where we find on the top a menu bar, the configuration of which depends on the permissions and the profile of each user. The middle buttons allow us quick access to the most frequent options, as well as select other functions with less utilization. The bottom right button allows us to change the password. So for example, if we choose the option Add New Patient, appears a folder called Patient Folder in which we must enter the patient details. The following folder is Pregnancy folder that collects all details related to pregnancy. The details about how to perform a screening test will be explained in depth in other tutorial video. Now we go back to the main page and we click the option Screening Search, where we can select a screening already performed. We can see all the folders completed, the patient and pregnancy folder that we have seen before. But as we add information, new folders appear: screening, blood tests, ultrasound and risk. Aim to register data related to laboratory, ultrasound, and the risks once they are calculated. The web program has a complete system of written reports generated in each screening. We can choose between several languages, for printed report as for the resolution of the screen. It is a highly configurable program that works based in menus where in turn have different submenus. We can observe at the top of the screen a menus bar. The first menu is the Searches menu, that allows us to look for patients, screenings or post-screening. We can see that in these search options appears on the left side of the screen a series of controls that allow us to define the search. And on the right side of the screen appears the search results in a table or grid. The second menu on the menus bar is the Tools menu. This menu, in turn, has several options like the quality controls that in SsdwLab6 are very developed, and they inform us if we are performing the screenings properly. The simplest of all these quality controls is the percentage of positive cases. If the cases are closed, it means that we made a post-screening follow-up. We can calculate the efficiency with the option Sensitivity Specificity. Also we can calculate the medians, the correction factors for weight correction, the correction factors defined by the user, etc. We can also observe that we can compute the screening statistics. Thus we see the global statistics for maternal age, gestational age, etc. The third menu on the toolbar is the Administration menu that allows us to identify and manage all aspects of the screening, from the people involved in them. As we can observe on the screen, we can add all kind of data relative to users, doctors, sonographers, requesting doctors, as well as the centers and units where those screening take place. It is noteworthy to highlight the submenu Calculation Variables, where we find everything related to the screening profile. We can see on the screen that shows the markers used in that profile, both biochemical and ultrasound markers, with its population parameters and their correction factors. Here we can see the pregnancy-associated plasma protein A, with its MOM curve, population parameters and correction factors, or the beta-chorionic gonadotropin and nuchal translucency that would be the typical markers of a first trimester combined screening profile. As was said before, SsdwLab6 is a very configurable program, so it has moreover Gaussian markers, the dichotomous markers, such as the absent nasal bone, the tricuspid regurgitation, a major malformation, etc. We have dichotomous markers for trisomy 18/13 as for trisomy 21. Also we can add correction factors defined by the user, including in vitro fertilization, race, ethnicity, smoking. We can give the risk at term or at the screening time, and the cutoff levels are completely configurable for trisomies such as neural tube defects. We can define the biometrics normally as used CRL, crown rump length, but we can use other biometrics like HC, head circumference, or others. Underline the submenu, database query, which allows making queries of screenings which respond to some required conditions. Thus, it allows us advanced searches, choosing between multiple fields which, in turn, may comply certain conditions. This is a real and very complete visual system for database query in Ssdwlab6. The results of the search are presented in grid or table format on the screen and may be exported in different types of files, Excel, XML, PDF, etc., which we can generate and save. The last menu of the menus bar is the Help menu that allows us to consult in PDF format the user manual and the identity features about Ssdwlab6 program. So Ssdwlab6 has a set of tools that form a block and allow the program to be very useful in their prenatal detection of aneuploidies.